We are ready for game two here at Graham Rec Park as Taylor Nunn is in the circle for Bluefield College up against Kylie Bridgman. And the first pitch is on the outside corner for strike one as we got this one started at 3:04 Eastern Standard Time. Hello, everybody. Bailey Engel on the call. Glad to have you with us, along with Jackson Bass here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Well, Bluefield in this one, currently 11-12 after that one misses outside, 1-1. Rams into this game, a disappointing loss in game one despite a very good outing in the circle for Jocelyn Thompson, the freshman. So now Taylor Nunn, second year for Bluefield College, up against Kylie Bridgman, now on a 1-1 count. That pitch is grounded over to Lauren Bailey, gobbles it up and throws to first in time. That's a good time to tell you that who is in the field. Macy Martin once it again, another start at third base. Hicks at short. Lauren Bailey, who just got that ground ball once again at second. Lexi Harmon getting the start at first base for Bluefield. From the outfield in left to right, Topliff in left, Santana in center, and Taylor in right field. Sanchez completes the battery with Taylor Nunn. There's a breaking ball in the inside corner for strike one with one out on Kristen Weems. Well, Jackson, you have the report on Taylor Nunn. How are her stats looking so far this year?
Well, she's got an ERA of 5.73, and she's played a lot of our games for us.
That goes a bit outside there. No balls, two strikes. Yeah, no Lexi Harmon as a pitcher. Looks like that part of her career this year has been shelved. So Taylor Nunn and Jocelyn Thompson getting the predominant starts in the circle as that one is grounded from Weems over to third, straight at Martin. Long lob over to first in time. Well, the Rams did not hit well off of this player right here, Kylie Smith, who gets the start as the first baseman here in game number two. Smith had a heck of a game, giving Columbia its third win of the season. Currently, the Koalas 3-10. And Kylie Smith, a shutout, only gave up 5 hits of Bluefield College, and the Rams only had a runner in scoring position twice in the first and last innings. That pitch to Kylie Smith a bit inside for ball one. Nunn coming from North Carolina looks in. Ready to deal and does. Pitch is inside and high. 2 balls, no strikes. On Bluefield College, a game under 500, trying to avoid a sweep in a doubleheader against a Columbia team that only had 2 wins coming into today. That pitch sails outside. Head coach Sam White looking on from the dugout. A couple of first-year head coaches. Leanne Newberry, the head coach of Columbia, looking on from the third base side. Righty-righty matchup, 3 balls, no strikes. That's high for ball 4. So a walk here in the first inning. Well, both teams didn't really rack up a ton of hits. Columbia scored its lone run in the third inning off of Thompson, who, by the way, gets the loss with 7 strikeouts and only allowed 2 hits in that entire ball game. 2 outs and a runner at first. The pitch just a bit outside for ball 1. Alexis Jennings, the right fielder. Back-to-back starts as the right fielder. Hitless in game 1. Runner at first, no outs. Fouled right behind Sanchez. Evens the count up in 1-1 with 2 outs. Warm day here in Bluefield. Game 2 of a doubleheader. A little bit of wind flowing from left to right. It changes around going back from center to home plate. Comes a 1-1. Change up buried in the dirt. 2 balls, 1 strike. Sanchez keeps it in front to keep Smith over at first base as well. Pitch fouled back off of Sanchez, and now the count runs even. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the first inning. Well, hey, folks, win or lose, stick around for an interview with head coach Sam White right after this one. Haven't been able to talk to Coach in an interview since he was hired here back in really the heat of quarantine. 2-2. That's off the end of the bat. Keeps it at 2 balls, 2 strikes. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Another warm one here today. Taylor Nunn trying to retire the side here with a runner at first base. Smith is there. Here's the pitch. Jennings puts it on the ground over to Chloe Hicks. Long throw to first, a bit low. Scooped up in time anyway. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a runner left on. We'll go to the bottom of the first where the score is 0-0 with Bluefield coming to bat. Welcome back, everyone. Bailey Engel and Jackson Bast here live with you from Graham Rec Park for Game 2 of this doubleheader. Lauren Bailey ready to lead it off in the bottom of the first inning. Bluefield College is in a tie score. This one 0-0. Bailey did a good job at the plate. Had 2 hits in Game 1. Only Bluefield Ram with a couple of hits in that Game 1 loss. Oh, first pitch from Gabby Lawrence. Big swing and a miss, strike 1, and the count goes to 0-1 with no outs and nobody on. No balls, 1 strike. Comes the offer. Just a bit outside, 1-1. Well, we'll see Claudia Santana batting second, the center fielder. Lexi Harmon, the first baseman, batting third. Chloe Hicks batting cleanup in Game 2 as the shortstop. Comes the 1-1. Bailey lifts it right on the left side, snagged by Watford, and an L6 into the scorebooks, route number 1. So after Sanchez batting fifth and catching, will be Jocelyn Thompson, the designated player, batting 6th, with Macy Martin, third baseman, batting 7th. Hannah Taylor, the right fielder, batting 8th, and Kelsey Topliff batting 9th and playing in left field. So, Claudia Santana trying to get on for the first time today. Instead, shoots it right on the ground, straight back to Lawrence, and now there's 2 outs. Lexi Harmon, first baseman. Got on with a hit back in Game 1, reached on a fielder's choice as well. Rams have not scored a run yet today. Trying to change that after a 1-0 loss. First pitch with 2 outs, just a bit outside for ball 1. So the count in 1-0 to the Knoxville Christian Academy graduate, better known as CAC. 1-0. That's called a strike, bit delayed, but evens up the count on the outside corner, 1-1. About 2:20 down the lines here at Graham Rec Park with the sun right overhead. In the heat of the day. Got this one started at 3 o'clock on the dot. Comes a 1-0. On the ground, deep at short, Watford there, rifles to first. What a stretch by Smith, and the out recorded. Side is retired, and now we're on to the second inning, all tied up 0-0. Welcome back, everybody. Taylor Nunn still in the circle in this scoreless one. Top of the second with Maddie Hearn, Madison Watford, and Megan Dennis all due up, the designated player for the first time today for this team from Columbia, South Carolina. 5, 6, 7. I tell you what, Jackson, this is a lot different than that weather we saw on Saturday at the football game.
Oh, I hear you say the baseball game on Friday.
No.
That was a pretty hot game.
Yeah.
You're right. It was a lot less rain.
Right, and I mean, that football game was supposed to start at what, 1:30? We got started around 4:30. I've been a part of more lightning delays in football than I think I've ever been a part of as a fan, and I've been watching football since the 1940s, and I don't remember being a part of that many lightning delays. So Madison Hearn steps up, the third baseman. Struck out a couple of times. And it's Thompson, big swing and a cut foul. By the way, the score is 0-0 as we fight to get our scoreboard back up online for you. We are in the top of the second inning. Columbia wearing some pretty slick uniforms today with the purple trim. Black background, purple down the sides of the pants. The breaking ball outside and low evens up the count at 1-1. And the top of the second. Nobody on. Leadoff batter here in the second inning, Taylor Nunn. And if you're Sam White, you can't be really disappointed with how Jocelyn Thompson pitched in game one. Bit high, 2 balls, 1 strike. As Thompson had a lot of swing and miss stuff, it was just a couple of walks. That's all she had really as the tough part of her day. Gave up an RBI single, and the Rams just weren't able to get any runners on the base paths themselves. 2-1. And it's high, 3 balls, 1 strike. Nunn has already walked 1 today with Kylie Smith in the first inning. She was left there.
We almost saw the same pattern in the first inning that we saw in that point game where she would retire the first 2 players and the third one got on base.
Yeah, as that one hits the outside corner, 2-2. Yeah, 3-2. It was tough to watch that in that game 2, that baseball game, where our first 2 batters retired easily. That's how the Rams ended up losing that one, but ended up splitting that series after the rain out. Big swing and a miss on a pitch inside. And there is the first strikeout for Taylor Nunn, and 1 away here in the top of the second inning. So nobody on, still no score. I'll bring up Madison Watford, the shortstop. Watford with a couple of tough plays already. Right down the middle, she's made them. Counted 0-1. Rams were supposed to play Bluefield State on Monday. That game was canceled. Actually, it already played the Big Blues on their home field at Bluefield High School, 0-1. Popped up, middle of the infield. Hicks calls for it, stays true to her word. Now there's 2 outs. Megan Dennis up to the plate for the first time today, up against Taylor Nunn. First pitch, a bit high to the designated player, and it's ball 1. Second pitch, a bit outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Dennis, the freshman from Hemingway, South Carolina. Obviously, this is Columbia College from the capital of the state, Columbia, South Carolina, littered with players from the Palmetto State. 2-0. Inside corner, a good pitch from Nunn to fight back into it.
Talk about it being littered with players. The previous hitter we saw, Madison Hearn, was one of the few starters that isn't from the state.
Yeah. Hearn coming from Las Vegas, Nevada. Fouled back, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Leanne Newberry tries to settle in with some new recruits in her first year as the head coach of Columbia. A couple of first-year head coaches in the Appalachian Athletic Conference. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here's the offer, fouled back. And Columbia, obviously, women's school, not to be confused with Columbia International, with both men and women, a co-ed college.
Well, actually, Columbia College does have men's sports.
Oh, I must have gotten that mixed up then.
It was originally all women's school.
Okay. Just a bit outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Unless their website got me messed up.
Well, as our head SID has just informed me, Columbia went co-ed this year, so I stand corrected. Here's a payoff. Just a bit inside, didn't miss by much. And Dennis hits the base on ball. So I believe that Columbia was one of the 2 in the AAC that did not have men's sports, Brunel being the other, and they, unless they have men's sports this week, I believe that they're just a women's college as well. And I'm getting a nod from Bob saying yes.
You talk about Columbia, that is a very student-dense area. With, I can think of 3 colleges off the top of my head, with USC, Allen, and Columbia College.
And then, yeah, Allen, and where's Benedict, I believe?
Got Benedict College.
Yeah. That's called a strike, by the way, to Brianna Workman. Now the pitch. Leaned out the bat. Fouled it off down the third baseline. No balls, 2 strikes. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a runner at first. Reached at it, she went around, and that is it for the top of the second. So we are in through an inning and a half. Nunn has a couple of strikeouts, and we're still scoreless at 0-0. Welcome back here in the bottom of the second inning. Bailey Engel and Jackson Bass, glad to have you with us. Well, Gabby Lawrence trying to capitalize on this Bluefield offense that has been so stagnant at the plate today. As the first pitch to Hicks goes a bit outside and low. 4-5-6 due up for Bluefield. And the Rams, it hasn't been a strikeout show. Bluefield College up against this Columbia team. Rams have just not been able to string together consistent hits. As Hicks pulls out one foul, count goes to 1-1. So in the first game, Columbia took it 1-0 behind a great day in the circle from Kylie Smith.
Talk about a player who can play multiple positions. They were labeled as a pitcher, a first baseman, and I saw her doing some catching for the team earlier.
It goes on the outside corner, 1-2. It is interesting, at least at this level of softball in the NAIA, you go through an entire roster in its pitcher utility. And then you have about 11 players that are labeled as that, because you got to think, this is the 1-2, big cut and a miss, strike 3. Hicks goes down for the first strike, or the first out of the bottom of the second inning. But you have to think, with these players playing so much travel ball growing up, everybody at least got a try at pitching. So you move into college ball, that's something you can do, especially when you get into scenarios where you're not having a great doubleheader or a great series. Got to throw another arm in there. Christina Sanchez swings and drills that one up the middle for the first base knock for Bluefield today. And Sanchez, the 5-hitter, is on with 1 out for Jocelyn Thompson. Well, Jocelyn Thompson Obviously, the starting pitcher in the last game went 0 for 3, flew a ball out to right field in the 7th inning after the Rams had a single to lead it off. Bluefield failed to score the tying run, dropped it 1-0. Once on the outside corner for strike one. Count at 0-1, bottom of the second. Still no score with Gabby Lawrence looking pretty strong for the first inning and a third. 0-1. Swinging a dribbler, hopped into third, throw to second, not in time. Wanted to get the lead runner, and now Sanchez slides into second base with Thompson on at first.
And we talk about that every time, how it's surprising that the shortstop doesn't throw the ball to second. They try to make the throw to first. And there's one of the examples of why.
Yeah, well, exactly. I think the third baseman, I mean, she wanted to get the lead runner, thought she would have her by a step, but now this is the first time in either game today where Bluefield College has had a couple of runners on the base paths. Check that, it's happened one time. Macy Martin trying to end it here with a fly ball to center. Kennedy makes the catch, throws the ball back in, and skips back into Kylie Smith. So the first time, I should say, the Rams have had two runners on the base paths at the same time since the first inning of game one. So now there's two outs, and here comes Hannah Taylor, the right fielder. Sanchez at second, Thompson at first. Check swing, pitch right down the middle, strike one. Rams just need some sort of momentum swing here. Flies outside. Ball and a strike. Two outs. Sanchez on board with a single. And Thompson aboard with a fielder's choice. Check swing, dribbler right at first, and the Rams leave two stranded again. We're on to the third inning, still scoreless after the Rams failed to score a run on one hit, no errors. And now on to the third inning. It is 0-0 Columbia in Bluefield. Welcome back here, third inning. All tied up, 0-0. Jordan Kennedy up to the plate. Taylor Nunn still in the circle. Ground ball right back to Nunn. Throw to first in time. And now there is one away. So flip the lineup card on over for Columbia. Right back for Kylie Bridgman, who grounded out back in the first inning. Pitch on the inside corner for ball one. So Kylie Bridgman, count 1-0. Bridgman, the second baseman. Well, Taylor Nunn spins that pitch. A dribbler over to short. Hicks charges, throws to first. Gloved in time. Well, Chloe Hicks, what a tough shortstop. It's going to be tough for Columbia to really put anything on the ground on the left side to get past the shortstop. Now with two quick outs, here's Kristen Weems. Ground ball goes right back behind the catcher. Flies outside.
A lot of energy from the Columbia College dugout.
Yeah, they have really, that one's right back up the middle on a backhanded stab. None to first, not in time. Weems legging out that infield single. But you're absolutely right. They have had a good amount of energy today after some great performances by the pitchers in the circle. I mean, Smith looked very tough for Columbia. And then so far, Gabby Lawrence has really made sure Bluefield hasn't knocked on the door, but knocked it down. A couple of runners on the base pass there earlier. Swinging a rip down the left field line. Kelsey Smith with a couple hopper all the way out to left field. Topliff has it. Throws it into the cutoff. Now a whip on home. Skip in. Tag. Got her! What a relay! She is out for the final one of the top of the third. What a throw! And now for Bluefield, instead of it being 1-0, goes into the bottom of the third, all tied up at 0-0. Bottom of the third.
It's a close call at home. You can see the frustration the Columbia College's coach.
Yeah, but what a 7-6-2 relay after the single from Kylie Smith, who ripped the ball out to left field. So there's a 9-1-2.
Long throw from the outfield to that third baseman, too.
It really was. Topliff, her first reps at the plate today, squared around the bunt. It's called a strike. Gabby Lawrence still in the circle. Swinging a ground ball right at short. Watford rifles to first in time. Routine. Now there's one away. So we go back to the top of the lineup. Still scoreless, by the way. Bailey Engel, Jackson Bast here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. First softball coverage we've had in, I think, about a week and a half since Bluefield took on Bryan. Bluefield unfortunately dropped a couple of late runs to the Lions in both games. It looked good. A little bit different than what we've seen today where the Rams scored early. Lauren Bailey swings and dribbles that one on the left side. Another quick play for Watford, out. Well, these plays develop so quickly in the game of softball. Lauren Bailey retired. Here's Claudia Santana. Bailey now 0 for 2. Santana 0 for 1. Grounded out right back to Gabby Lawrence. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, ball 1. Bottom of the third here in Bluefield. That was a pitch. Swinging a high fly ball to shallow center. Kennedy walks up and makes the grab, and that is the final out of the third inning. So we've played 3. We're on to the 4th now. Still scoreless in game 2 of this doubleheader. Top of the 4th inning. Here's Alexis Jennings with Taylor Nunn ready to pitch, and does. Swinging a ground ball right back to Nunn. Easy play to first in time. Quickly developing plays in this one. Rams keeping a run off of the scoreboard after Kristen Weems was thrown out at home on a solid relay in. Like Chloe Hicks on a single from Kylie Smith. So the score is still 0-0. Top of the 4th inning. Digging in on the right-handed side, Madison Hearn, the one of 2 strikeouts for Taylor Nunn. She blasts that one foul into the ravine, and it's about 50-50 if we'll see that ball again. There's strike 1.
A little concerned there were just a bunch of tires over there.
Yeah, that's kind of like, looks like where the Beast lives in Sandlot, but Forest Edition. On the outside corner for strike 2. I think my dog is the opposite of that dog. If there was ever just a opposite comparison. The Beast was built like the Loch Ness Monster. Mine's like 9 pounds. No balls, 2 strikes. Big swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Madison Hearn, and the third for Taylor Nunn. Now it'll be Madison Watford.
You do have a very tiny dog.
I do have a tiny dog. I remember you got in the car. We're going from here, I believe, to baseball on that day where we had about 19 things to do. And you're like, is this a water bottle? It's kind of like a little baby bottle apparatus, and it's actually very nice. First pitch, by the way. The inside corner, strike one to Watford, who's 0 for 1. And it makes like a little makeshift bowl of water for the dog. You're like, you really spoil this animal. It's like, well, I don't have any kids. This is my child. Here's the 0-1. Popped up behind home plate. Now to play. No balls, 2 strikes.
That one rolled down a little.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I think we do have at least one parent or cousin or somebody gets a good amount of them mid-game, but we haven't had a scenario yet where we games back here at the bottom of the hill. This misses outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Comes the offer. Inside by a hair, ball 3. There's a full count. So, let next run. Out back and rattles around from Sanchez. Oh, full count, none, toes to the rubber. Looking strike 3 called, and the Koalas go 1-2-3 in the top of the 4th. We're halfway done here in game 2. Rams and the Koalas locked in at 0-0. Bottom of the 4th, still scoreless. Lexi Harmon trying to change that with Chloe Hicks behind her. Christina Sanchez all up against Gabby Lawrence. They're in game 2 against the Koalas. First pitch hits the outside corner for strike 1. Billy Engel, Jackson Bassis, an 11-12 Bluefield College Rams team up against a 3-10 Columbia team. But what it would mean for the Koalas to get a sweep here today. Pitch, Harmon blasted foul down the right field side and off of the batting facility.
One thing you really appreciate about this ref is that he doesn't take his time to call it a strike or a ball.
No. Oh, my goodness. That umpire against the point is now, I think we've gotten into the scenario where we need more game balls, as I had hinted at earlier. But, yeah, that umpire in the point baseball game, the second one, if he was 0-2, side ball, one count, runs 2. But he would take about a solid 2 seconds to throw a fist up or do nothing. We're just like, all right, I guess that's a ball. And I think that softball, you really can't have an umpire that does that. 1-2. Ground ball straight at Hearn at third. On to first to Smith. 1 away. Rams have just not been able to poke these through the infield this game. Comes the pitch, showing bunt, lays it down foul. So Chloe Hicks, lone strikeout of the day for Gabby Lawrence. There's one away. The 0-1 shows a bunt. It's in front of the plate in fair territory. Throw to first in time. That was probably a good 3 inches off of home plate, but right in the front. And it stays a 2-3 in the book. So now 2 outs for Christina Sanchez, a lone hit for Bluefield. Flashes her bat, taps that one third base side. Watford onto first, got her! Rams go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Columbia playing very well in the field today, and now we're on to the 5th. It is still 0-0. Here we are in the 5th inning. Bailey Engel and Jackson Bass, we are glad to have you along for the ride here on the Rams Digital Sports Network at Graham Rec Park. Megan Dennis, designated player, up against Taylor Nunn in her 5th inning of work. Does have 4 strikeouts. Dennis was one of her 2 walks on the day. First pitch goes inside on the designated player for ball 1. We are still scoreless, 0-0. Rams have not scored a run today. Columbia has only scored 1. Won the first game 1-0.
We were talking about it during the break, how that, the first base umpire is not really given any of those ties to the runner.
Yeah, they have been a couple of close calls as that one sails outside, 2 balls, no strikes. And you still have to give a little bit of credit to, and I guess he's giving them all the credit, the shortstop, Watford, and Hicks, even on a couple of bang-bang plays at first from the Columbia side. That pitch sails inside, 3 balls, no strikes. And even the throw to home plate on that 7-6-2 relay to get Weems out, that was pretty close as well. Now pitch inside, ball 4. Third walk of the day. And a Workman struck out swinging her last time up in the 2nd inning. Comes a pitch. Shows bunt, stabs at it, called a strike, didn't pull back. So with a runner at first, what can Columbia do? Well, takes the whole wrist coach off. Wear it on the wrist. Has it, it's kind of like a wallet in the back pocket. See if she gets the bunt sign again from Newberry. And does. Lays it down right in front of home plate. Umpire said it hit her foot. So it is a foul ball. No balls, 2 strikes. No balls, 2 strikes. Comes the offer. Poked it on the third base side. Martin goes to second and gets the out. Well, Jackson, we had talked about it earlier where we saw Hearn try to do that, and the Rams were safe on both bases. But I think Macy Martin was able to get the ball a bit quicker on that play and able to retire Dennis to get the lead runner out.
I think that and the fact that the third baseman was really close.
Yeah.
The second baseman is like almost trying to toss it without overthrowing it.
So now Workman is at first on a fielder's choice. Here is Jordan Kennedy. Shows a bit of a check swing, gets through Martin, throw to first. So there is what we saw earlier today. It happened with Brianna Workman back in the first game. So she was out of the batter's box and not allowed to do that anymore in softball, even though you were able to do that for decades. A newer rule the past couple of years, and Kennedy is out. So Bridgman takes a cut and fouls that one away down the third baseline. What can KB do for Columbia, but what can Nunn do to get out of this inning? Top of the 5th. There's the pitch. Sails outside. Throw to first, not in time on a tag by Lexi Harmon. Ball and a strike, 2 outs. Pitch. We get another ground ball pulled, foul. So a ball and 2 strikes, Nunn. A strike away from sending Bluefield into the home half of the 5th inning. But a runner is at first in Brianna Workman. One ball, 2 strikes. The pitch swings and lifts it foul. Right side and out of play. Back to the top of the lineup in Bridgman. A ball and 2 strikes. Workman at first. The pitch spins outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. High fly ball into shallow center. Stays in the infield with Bailey under it. So we play 4.5. Rams and Koalas still tied up 0-0 onto the bottom of the 5th inning. Bottom of the 5th inning. Rams trying to score for the first time today. It sails outside, ball 1. So Jocelyn Thompson, designated player, part of the 6, 7, 8. Taylon Strange going to come in for Hannah Taylor. That's already been in the books for the 3rd batter of the inning. Macy Martin up next. Here's the pitch. Swinging a line drive. Hit off the glove and into shallow left. Watford couldn't reel that one in, and it's a single for Jocelyn Thompson. Oh, that just seems like that had been happening in Bluefield all day, with Watford playing so well at shortstop. All smacked out of the glove. Now Strange is on deck. Macy Martin up to bat for Bluefield. Still no score. You're on a sunny day at Graham Rec Park. For the first pitch, shows bunt, pops it down, lays in the dirt, throw to first in time, and the sacrifice intact on a very good bunt. Now, big field here with Tom. Birch swing off the end of the bat, rolls on the right side, scooped up, tossed to first in time. Good play by Bridgman, but a productive out. So if Bluefield gets a base hit here from Kelsey Topliff, it's 1-0 Rams. Thompson over on the corner at 3rd. First time in this game that the Rams have had a runner at 3rd base. I believe that is the first time all day. First pitch to nothing by single. Topliff in the air, right side, under it. Bridgman makes the catch and dropped it. She dropped the ball. So hit her right in the palm, and the dirt. Bluefield is up 1-0. So now the Rams able to take the lead off of the E4, and what an E4 it is. Swinging a little roller off the edge of the bat, and it's fouled. No balls and 2 strikes. So 2 outs, an unearned run coming in off of Gabby Lawrence. Rams certainly will take it anyway. It's 1-0. That was the pitch. Just a bit outside, taken off. Topliff slides in to second. And I hope she's all right, because that was a pretty awkward slide. Seems to be okay. It just seems like she took a knee sliding. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. A runner at 2nd for Bluefield on a steal. Makes it more interesting for Lauren Bailey at the plate. Comes a pitch. Swinging a roller right back to Lawrence on to first in time, and the side retired. But a run scores on 1 hit, 1 error, 1 runner left in scoring position. We are now on to the 6th inning where Bluefield has a lead. It's 1-0 Rams.
Jax Best here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. None up to pitch. Say Megan Dennis is a re-enter. Kristen Weems up to bat. Kristen Weems 0-2 for the day. Check that. Is 1 for 2, having a 5-3 in the first. Well, inside, ball 1. The Buford, South Carolina native. Junior. Ball hit out to third. Little shuffle. Topliff gets it. Base hit. Kylie Smith, first baseman of this game, pitcher for the last game. Inside, ball 1. Kylie Smith is 2 for 2 today. There's 1 for 1 with a walk. A base hit. Big knock over to center field. Santa gets under it, it's out.
You know, what a catch by Santana for Bluefield. What a rip by Smith as well. All the way out to center field. Santana played it all the way back. Now the runner at first base, Jackson. It seems like that could have been a humongous hit, and Santana doing a great job of reeling that one in.
I know, she looked a little frantic walking back, but then she was able to get under it and catch it.
Well, I think you're going to look frantic when a scenario happens where a ball is hit really hard, because that hasn't happened at all today, except for Kylie Smith back in the third inning. That pitch, it's a bit outside, ball 1. There's one away, tying run to first base. Alexis Jennings, 0 for 2. Comes a pitch, big swing and a miss. Ball and a strike, 1 away. Rams up 1-0. A run came in to score on a drop fly ball, or drop pop-up, I should say. It was in the infield. It was a 1-1. Just a bit outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Nunn trying to get the win for Bluefield. Rams hoping to only have to bat one more time, but they need to back out of this inning first. Two-one. On the ground, straight at Martin. Rifles to first in time. Make it, to second in time. On to first, not in time. So tried to turn a 5-4-3 double play, and luckily didn't have to mess up a play-by-play call of a double play. So there's a runner at first and a fielder's choice. Weems is taken off of the base paths. And Alexis Jennings stands in at first as a potential tying run, but albeit with 2 outs. Madison Hearn, a couple of strikeouts already in game 2, with Bluefield leading 1-0 at the top of the 6th. Swinging a rip to left field. That's a base hit off the glove of Topliff. Kicked in the corner. Topliff has to get it up. Throws it to third, and everyone is safe. So it's a single for Hearn. Got to second after it was kind of kicked around by Topliff. So now 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs. This is a big at-bat for Madison Watford, who has played impeccably in the field today. Meanwhile, Sam White, so talk this one over with Taylor Nunn, his pitcher. He's looked pretty strong all the way up really until this inning. Gave up multiple hits back in the 3rd inning, but remember, that was the inning where Weems was thrown out at home on a relay. talking to with Watford up to the plate. A base hit would potentially give the Koalas the lead. Two outs. Big spot for the shortstop. None deals. Just a bit inside for ball one. So Jennings at third reached on a fielder's choice. Hearn at second got on with a single. Topliff had a bit of trouble getting the ball in from left field. Comes a 1-0. Ground ball, third base side. Martin has to go to first and does. So the Rams back out of the jam in the top of the sixth inning. And the Koalas leave 2 on in scoring position. We're on to the bottom of the sixth, and Bluefield leads 1-0. Bottom of the sixth, 2-3-4 up for Bluefield. It's 1-0. Comes the pitch. Swinging a ground ball, shortstop, picked up by Watford, throw to first in time. This is another bang-bang play from short to first. The Rams have not gotten the benefit of the doubt on any of those today, but it's hard to tell from this angle. Now there's one out. Bailey Engel, Jackson Bass, game 2 here of this doubleheader. Final chance for Bluefield to potentially add some insurance before the top of the 7th, only up 1-0. Here's the pitch to Harmon, outside. Ball 1. Inside. 2 balls, no strikes.
You know, one thing I meant to mention during the 5th inning was I was curious, do you think all the chanting from your dugout kind of distracts you a little?
You know, and I've seen this at different levels, as that's a ball as well, 3 balls, no strikes. I've seen at different levels where even at the highest Division I levels of softball, and you're in Oklahoma City for the College World Series, there's still a good amount of the percussion and the dugouts and really going crazy through every pitch. So it's not just something you see at the NAIA level. I'm not 100% sure if it always helps, but I'd imagine that when you're a pitcher and you're throwing about 4 to 6 balls in a row, it's not helping to hear people in the dugout say something to you. Lexi Harmon walks on 4 pitches.
I mean, I'm starting to think it might be a foul when I hear that's a what? That's a what? That's a foul or a ball. Starting to think maybe
Yeah.
it is a ball.
Sam White going to bring in potentially a new runner, Gabby Mellick. A little bit more speed here as the Rams are only up 1-0. Gabby Mellick, upperclassman from the 757, Newport News to be exact. And a big spot here for Christina Sam, make it Chloe Hicks. Christina Sanchez on deck. Hicks is 0 for 2. Looking for her first hit today. Pitch. Making a high fly ball down the left field line. Workman towards the line, makes the grab in fair territory. Lobs the ball back in, and there are now 2 outs. Runner at first. It's only a 1-0 game in the bottom of the 6th inning. Remember, win or lose, got head coach Sam White coming up right after the ball game. So now Christina Sanchez. She singled on a hard hit ball. Mellick's taken off to steal second. Got her. What a throw by Weems. And Mellick rifled out at second base. So that is it. Sanchez left with her bat in her hand in the bottom of the 6th inning. Sam White not excited about that. Gabby Mellick staying on at second. Like both umpires want to talk about it. No, that is how we end the 6th inning. So Rams 3 outs away. Can none hold on when we come back. Rams are 3 outs away from splitting the doubleheader, but we have seen the Koalas have a couple of good chances here in this one. Lexi Harmon re-enters after being taken out for Gabby Mellick after Harmon got on with a walk. So 7, 8, 9 due up. Taylor Nunn trying to pitch the final inning. Megan Dennis, Anna Workman, and Jordan Kennedy. Dennis has been walked twice. Nunn pitches. Inside corner, strike 1. So remember, fans, win or lose, got Sam White right after the ball game to talk about this one. Megan Dennis trying to get her first hit today. Breaking ball outside corner, a good one from Nunn. Knee buckling there and already up 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Comes the pitch. Swinging a bouncer off of Nunn. Bailey there on the rebound, and there is one away. So it nicked off of Nunn. So let's call that a 1-4-3. Nunn slowed the ball down that was going up the middle and effectively pushed the ball to Lauren Bailey. And that's unlucky for Dennis. So there's one out. 1-0 the score. Brianna Workman up to the plate. Foul back. Actually, a new player in. Count goes 0-1. That's Ellie Hunter in as a pinch hitter. Ellie Hunter. Here comes an 0-1 from Nunn. Pitch to Hunter. Fouls it off right side, and now Nunn once again is up in the count 0-2. Rams lost the first game 1-0. They're trying to return Koalas a taste of their own medicine here in game 2. No balls, 2 strikes with the sun beaming down. The pitch, nice pitch outside, rattles off the backstop. Ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. Ball and 2 strikes. Nunn looks in at Sanchez. Has her pitch. We get another foul ball ripped into the dugout of Bluefield on the first base side. Game 2 of the doubleheader. Rams 2 outs away from winning it, but Ellie Hunter in a battle here, batting for Workman. Here's the pitch. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nunn ready, 2-2. Inside corner, got her.
Big strikeout for Nunn.
And it absolutely is. Another one couldn't come at a better time after such a long battle. So now, another pinch hitter in. Ashlyn Stanley. Stanley, the final chance for Columbia, down 1-0. Big swing and a miss. Oh, man, had her buckled there with the changeup. That's the apex of that pitch, about 15 feet in the air, seemingly. Stanley took a big cut at it. No balls, 1 strike. The 0-1. Popped up, shallow left. Stepping in Santana, and the center fielder makes the grab to end the ball game. So Bluefield College splitting the doubleheader with Columbia by a final score 1-0 in game 2 after losing the first one 1-0. Well, Jackson, fun quick one here. Game 2. I'm going to be right back with Sam White here in a second. But final score 1-0. Bluefield wins this one. Nothing. Bluefield College wins the second game against Columbia after dropping the first one 1-0. And Coach, not a lot of scoring out there today. What'd you make of that doubleheader?
Yeah, we've been struggling with our offense here lately. We're either extremely hot or extremely cold, and it was rough. Of course, they got their number 1 pitcher back. She's been out for a month, and went out there throwing, and we hadn't prepared for her because we thought she was going to be out. But that kid threw very well in the first game against us, and we didn't do any favors for ourselves. So went by pretty quick, but excuse the expression, but we were able to kiss our sister in the second game and come out with a split. Seems like we do that all year.
Okay, love the expression, Coach.
Yeah.
But you talked about pitching for Columbia, but I think that your pitchers really stood out today for Bluefield College as well. Jocelyn Thompson, even with the loss, had a lot of swing and miss stuff in game one. And then in the second game, Taylor Nunn comes out with a shutout. What were you impressed with by your pitchers today?
Well, I'll be honest with you. This team, we are extremely young. We're extremely young. But what I'm so proud of is the fact that every game we're getting a little bit better. And defensively is where we've been growing by leaps and bounds. We're communicating better. We're moving. You got one senior in the infield, unless Lexi's at first base. And you got a young outfield, and we've been rotating and playing new players. But today you saw, there was a lot of balls that were hit in between, and we communicated and took the hit away from them. And our pitching staff I can't brag on them enough. And I hate the fact we have to lean on them so much, but we had a couple of injuries here and there, and we're just having to throw them all the time. But our young pitching staff has absolutely raised their level and the level of expectation for us.
Last thing I want to ask you about, you talk about a great pitching staff, but it wasn't like in the second game there was a ton of strikeouts. So it left a lot of plays to be made in the infield, particularly by Chloe Hicks, who did a great job defensively as a shortstop and also on a relay that saved the run from being scored. A freshman. What has really impressed you about her play so far this year?
With Chloe and with Toppy, who made the throw, we've been working with her for probably 3 weeks now. She has a big enough arm she could throw you out from the fence, but we've been telling her, hey, hit the cutoff man so we can make a change if we want to, if we can decide to go backside and hold the runner at first base. So she hits her right perfect, and Chloe's been doing an absolutely fantastic job. Really, with Peanut being with Lauren being our leader, our senior in the infield, I have stressed on her, at some point you're going to be gone. You got to pass something on here, and that's the leadership. And so Chloe has just been a sponge and been eating up everything she's teaching, and she's actually been doing her job, getting to her spots, and then threw that kid out, and it turned out being the game-winning play because it's one run today.
Rams win the second one, 1-0. Bailey Engel, head coach Sam White. We'll see you next time. But wrapping it up here today, Bluefield College splitting the doubleheader with Columbia.